Hi, this is Tracy with DIY or Bust. Today I start putting in the flooring on my 860 square foot cabin. It's Bruce, real hardwood flooring, and I'm really excited about getting it in. I'm definitely in the home stretch here, and thank you so much for watching my videos. This is the type of flooring I'm using. This is not a sponsored video. I'm going to be using a floor nailer. Looks like that. And these are the staples, which weigh like 10 pounds each. I'm starting in my closet, not only because it's the smallest room, and if I make a few mistakes learning how to do flooring, since it's been more than 10 years since I've laid hardwood flooring, then the mistakes will be in my closet and no one will care. I won't care. Plus, it's also the farthest from the front door, so I'll be working backwards through the cabin. I hope you enjoy the time lapse, and I got some work to do. be putting trim along the bottom edge, and I have left a bit of a gap for expansion. Laying down this floor is very, very satisfying, and it gives me some time to think. I'm just listening to music instead of an audiobook this time, and I'm thinking of what I want to talk to you about. And one of the things I decided on this floor when approaching how to install it, not only because it's a square room, I could go either this way or this way with the flooring. However, the hallway is long this way. So I am going to go this direction with the flooring. It's the opposite of the bedroom, mostly because I just did not want to try to line up the boards here with the boards there, and if I didn't get them right, that would drive me crazy every time I walk down the hallway, so not doing that, just changing direction. Now I've got the hearth already laid. This is just sitting on the subfloor up against it. So I wanted to start on that side, so when I'm moving across this way and I get to the hearth, I can make sure I'm nice and straight across it, and that way on this side, my boards will be perfectly aligned with the ones on the other side. Because if I started here and worked my way down, let's say I started like right there, started coming back, went this way, then I come this way and I go in front of the hearth, then I'm also going to have to face nail all of this going back. So that's why I decided to work from this side. So if you're going to lay some floors, think about the direction you're nailing in and your approach to going around any obstacles. Something like this is pretty easy, but this, I really wanted to make sure everything was lined up because I'm going to be walking down this hallway and in and out of the store a lot, and I want it to be aligned perfectly. The other thing I wanted to talk about was my dishwasher opening. I was very lucky, thank you universe, that I got a full width board here in front of my cabinet. So what I did was I measured, I started cutting like regular, and I thought, oh, that'll take forever. So I just did a bunch of the same width just to bring it out, that last 5 boards. And then I laid this in front of it, and I just loosely laid them in there. And then I used my little cat's paw and I scooched them all to the front. Because if I have any gap back there, who cares? Who cares if it's an inch? No one's gonna see it, it's the dishwasher. So I just scooted them all up so it's nice and tight through here. That way, again, going around obstacles, you have everything aligned perfectly with the other side. And I think that's the only one I'm gonna have to do that in, because that's sidelong, this is sidelong. And then when I go to the office space, I'll continue boards like this all the way up to that line. And then my office rows will go this way. I hope that's helpful to some of you out there if you're laying floor and just looking for some tips. One more tip. I don't know if you noticed in the slow-mo that I moved my compressor behind me as soon as I could. And that is because it is much easier to manage that cord behind you than it is to try and drag it across all of your wood pieces, and it catches on the wood and it's pulling and it's just a pain. It took me a little bit yesterday on day 1 of laying this floor to figure that out. So definitely have this behind you and then work your way across on top of the product. Again, then you're not on top of all this. Just makes it that much easier, and I found it makes it faster.